Welcome back to Marriage or Hell No. Fellas, we got a good one on the channel today. Reason being is that this story is about to have kids or to not have kids. And the story is going to be told from a woman here today. So, should be some interesting content. Without further ado, let's get into the story. The lady starts off by saying, a dilemma over having kids. This year I just turned 30 and my partner is 35. We were together for 5 years, got married, and have been now for 3 years. We're approaching our ninth year together. We talked about our future before getting engaged, and we were both on the same page about starting a family. I've been thinking about kids a lot lately and feel like we're at a stage to finally start trying. My husband has been making me doubt the decision because he isn't enthusiastic at all. It's actually making me question our relationship altogether. So as you can already see, fellas, you see where this story is going. And this lady is really considering wrecking her home. But let's keep going. I've asked him to be completely honest about it, and he tells me that he wants to, but his body language tells me otherwise. Now you guys are not ready for this part. Sometimes when we have relations, I tell him it's okay to finish in me. He gets terrified and either wears a condom or pulls out. See, even I had to start laughing right there, man, because you could just imagine being in this situation as a man. You already know what time it is. This man is like, I'm not ready to have kids with her. Something has gone awry within the marriage, and your man has been married to her. What she say, going on 3 years now, and he is exercising, wearing protection, and then working on his pullout game. So you already know something is just not right within the dynamic, and she's there telling him, right? So this is his woman. They in there having relations, and he is just running for dear life at that point. And she's like, "No, no, no, you got to finish the job." And he's like, "Nah, forget that mess." So I don't know what's going on here, but we're gonna keep going with the story, and then we're gonna also hear some comments about what some of the ladies had to say about the situation. But fellas, you already know what time it is. I honestly don't know what to do or how to feel. It makes me question our relationship. This is a whole other topic, but I've been wondering if I married a covert narcissist. I'm scared. Advice, thoughts. So you can see that last part took a dark turn. So that's the reason why I said earlier she's really considering wrecking her home out here because maybe, she's at that position. Notice that she says she just turned 30 this year. And we know from dealing with women that 30 years old, that's a certain mark that they pay attention to. So she's feeling a lot of the pressure to make him, produce kids with her at that point. I don't know where she got the whole narcissist thing from, but imagine if you were, around the house day to day with her, you feeling this type of pressure, you feeling that, maybe she feels some kind of way about you, things are uneasy. It might just be a little time to say, hold on, I'm not too sure if I want to have kids with her right now. And that's probably what this man is thinking. So the first comment comes from a lady here, and she chimes in. How does him being nervous about kids make him a narcissist? Great question. He just clearly isn't as ready as you. Either talk more or be patient, but name labeling doesn't sound healthy. Spot on, bro. Spot on. So the original poster comes in and she chimes in and she goes, my father was I can't really say that word here, narcissist. My mother told me that he never wanted children, and after her conceiving me was already a huge struggle. He never wanted any others, so I am an only child. When I said I think he's a covert narcissist, it isn't due to this reason only, but others that I didn't disclose in my post. That's alarming right there. So why did you marry the guy? I mean, and this is the way I start to question things because did this man just suddenly get married to her and become this narcissist all of a sudden? Or is she making it out to be him being a narcissist based on some issues that she had with her father growing up? And I think that that's the more telling sign in this story is obviously she's got some daddy issues that have been going on here and brewing throughout her childhood and maybe carried on. throughout her adult life. So maybe that has a lot to do with the pressure. But what she's doing simply is just going to wreck her marriage. And then this guy is not going to want to be a part of that. He's already showing signs that he's not ready to have children. And I can kind of understand why, given the fact that she's responding like this. Definitely talk to him and make everything clear. You still have time, but it would be delusional to ignore that for a woman, the biological clock isn't ticking. Especially if you get past mid 30s, your risk of pregnancy complications and issues with the health of the baby increase, which is true. That's just the reason why this channel, as well as other channels, say, hey, ladies, you can't be sitting up here talking about you want to get a husband and then you want to get babies at 40 years old because your body is ticking. A lot of people on a lot of different channels, whether it's male or female, say that. So you can't really take that stuff for granted. However, do not have a baby with somebody who is not 100% on board. So do not strong arm or pressure him into doing it. Maybe you will have to leave and find somebody else or stay with him and not have kids, maybe ever. The point I really want to rewind to is when she said, you do not strong arm him or pressure him into doing it. This is exactly what's going on in this story from what you guys are starting to hear. And I'm starting to get the idea that, this woman hasn't really thought about everything that has to do with having kids. Maybe this man sees the fact that, like, hey, cost of living is really up. Are they set up financially? He's thinking about all of these types of different things. But if you do have kids and he ends up not being 100% on board, it will ruin the experience for you and potentially the lives of everyone involved, including the kids. That's the reason why you can't strong arm the man into doing this. Having kids is extremely romanticized in our culture. A lot of the times it will suck. It will take away your freedom, independence, and change your fate forever. And I even had to chuckle a little bit to myself right there because that's the mindset of a lot of these modern women out here. They really think that, having traditional duties as far as being a mother or being nurturing in that type of capacity takes away from their independence. But you don't really see fellas out here going, or at least fellas are starting to be wise to the fact that, hey, if we go out there and be a father, now we're signing up to be a provider. So you have to really take all of that into account. And maybe that's the reason why this man may say, hey, I'm just a little cautious of having kids with you. Maybe they're not financially set up and he doesn't want to put that load on the family. But it doesn't sound like she's talking to him about that. It sounds like she's just like, no, I want these kids and you're going to give them to me right now. And that's really not going to work. I call it the worst and most expensive hobby in the world. To embrace the suck, it really takes two enthusiastic people to start a family. And even then, it is a massive burden on the relationship. Good luck. Hurry, don't wait. This is an effing emergency. Not having kids is a deal breaker, and running out the clock on a woman that wants to be a mom is the most savage bird a man can do to a woman. It's the equivalency of paternity fraud. It's that bad. If I found a genie in a lamp, I would wish to have had kids 5 to 6 years earlier and a brother. Okay? I mean, that's a little strange right there. I don't even think I'm gonna tackle that one. Good luck with that one. Well, this person's aggressive and they can't write. You need to sit him down and talk this through. It's one thing to talk about future plans, but now that the time has come to actually put those plans into action is another. Perhaps he isn't ready as he thought he'd be, but he needs to have that conversation with you so you know where you stand. Good luck. You've been together long enough. If he isn't ready, he will never be. Tell him it's a deal breaker as your clock is ticking. My first wife and I had kid when she was 22, me 25. No complications really, and it happened easily. No surprise. Long story short, she ran off with ex-boyfriend that half the city. I mean, dude, really? I mean, whew, I would hate to be in your shoes where you've been talking. And now new wife is 36 and can't get pregnant. Oh, damn, dude, that's messed up, man. I mean, you sound like a beta male earlier, but I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. So let me just say this. I'm sorry to hear about that. I know that's tough for a lot of married couples to deal with. So I'm not going to minimize that. Not even insemination. Her dream to have kids is not going to happen. Time ticked out on her. It will for you too. So tell him how it is. So he actually has a different perspective because he's dealing with a very unique situation. So he's saying that, hey, you never know what can happen in the future. That is true, but I think it's important to remember what I want to close with here. A lot of women will find themselves in this situation where they are married to a man and they put a man under so much pressure due to something that they may want, and then they're now willing to wreck the home. And this woman even mentioned that she's doubting their relationship. She believes he's some kind of narcissist. I don't know why she married him then, but these are the types of pressure environments that a lot of women create in the family dynamic to make men get a little bit more hesitant to say, hey, I'm married to you. We've only been married for 3 years. I need to think about this, and I'm not ready to have kids with you based upon what I have seen. So, in closing, ladies, be careful what you ask for, but don't wreck your home just so easily. If we pulling out and we wear protection, it's probably for a reason. I'm out.